It's important to emphasize when the students are tracing their figure that they want to drag the pencil behind them like they're dragging a stick in the dirt. They don't want to ever push it forward because that'll poke through their stencil. They want to drag it behind, and they got to push it down enough that it's actually indenting into that page. Okay. Never want to push it forward, always pulling it back. Okay, there's a decent stencil. These, of course, can be reused. Okay, the other tools that you're going to need for this is something flat to roll ink out onto. You're going to want an ink roller. And I just use Speedball, but it's just block printing ink. None of these things are very expensive. You can get them at any art supply store. A lot of district warehouses carry this sort of supplies. Okay. Now you don't need very much ink per stencil, but you're going to want to ink roll it out, and it should be kind of tacky. You don't want it shiny or really slippery because that means you've got too much ink. You don't want to just roll it on the ground. You've got to pick the roller up so that the ink gets rolled out evenly all over the roller. If you just roll it back and forth without picking it up, it'll just keep inking the same spots over and over and over again. We're going to need a little more than that. And it's okay to have extra on your page because you're going to be helping a lot of students back to back to back to do this. A lot of times I help just get the consistency right with the inking out, and I let them roll up their own stencil. See, right now it's too goopy, but if we keep rolling it out and get a nice even coat, then we should be okay. You can kind of hear that tacky sound. That means we're getting closer to how much ink we want. Okay. Now that we've got our roller here, it's not totally perfectly even. Then you just want somewhere where they can roll stuff out. Piece of paper, butcher paper, whatever. Okay. You want to hold it down, and then you're just going to roll it out. You can see the ink get applied to it. You can also kind of see where the ink sometimes isn't quite on there enough. Just put a little more ink on your roller. Want a nice even coat over the whole thing. Okay, set the roller aside. Have the students grab it by the edges like this. I like using earthy tones. Clearly it doesn't have to be white and black. It can be brown. But I like using earthy tones to emphasize the fossils. You're going to have your students push it down, and they've got to get it really pressed down all over, and they've got to do this quickly for it to work out really well. You can have another roller without any ink on it, and you can roll it over the top that way. Fingers work okay too. We peel it back. There we go. It's our fossil impression, relief, block print.